stay away, it's a full moon, and I'm not myself after I transform. You don't have to be alone, I'm not afraid. No, it's not that, I'm just incredibly stupid as a wolf, and I don't want you making fun of me for barking at myself in the mirror the entire night. Wait, what?
Rose crossed her arms, glaring at her friend. I hate it. Do you know how embarrassing it is to remember afterwards? To know how moronic you are and knowing it will happen again? It is the worst thing imaginable, and I don't want you to see me like it. Vicky smiled, lounging back on the sofa. Listen, you don't have to worry about that. You've seen me at my worst, so as long as you aren't going to attack me, I'll happily keep you company. The werewolf opened her mouth to speak, feeling on edge, but the words froze on her tongue, the first shiver running through her body. It was starting, the monthly change. She stumbled back, slipping to the floor as her legs began to bend and twist. Vicky watched, fascinated by what she saw. She knew her friend was odd, but had never seen her like this. The revelation of her being a werewolf had been a surprise a few months ago, but now was accepted fact. A secret desire had always remained to see her transformed appearance, but she hadn't acted on it before. Now she sat there, watching the change unfold before her. It was different to how she imagined, with bones snapping and reshaping, growls as muscles grew and stretched. Maybe a straining sound as fur grew. No, instead it was almost soft. Rose's body squashed and molded, like she was made of clay. The change was rapid, her clothes flung off as she moved around them. But her dignity was maintained by the sudden sprouting of fur, thick and gray. 30 seconds after starting, the change finished. She stood on all fours, longer than she was tall, even compared to her human form. Her yellow eyes slid open, looking around the room. They locked onto Vicky, making her freeze. Rose crouched lower, stalking towards her. She couldn't stop a tinge of fear from running down her back as she pressed herself back into the seat. She jumped as the wolf leapt at her, tongue lolling out of her wide-open mouth. The impact was heavy, but not outrageously so. She stood over her friend before leaning down to sniff her. Once, twice she sniffed, before giving a quick bark. Her tongue whipped out to lick her face, Rose flopping down and trying to push into Vicky. Vicky laughed, trying to avoid the licking. It was difficult, pinned down as she was. She tried to push Rose off, succeeding in making her flop over. The wolf wiggled on her back, exposing the soft-looking fur on her belly. Without hesitation, Vicky rubbed it, making her friend wriggle with delight. She smiled herself at the dopey look on her face. She could tell there wasn't a single thought in that mind, but it didn't matter. Rose was adorable, fluffy, and in a playful mood. That is all that mattered, until she heard a howl outside and decided to regale Vicky with the song of her people. Non-stop.